This lecture is on the three cancer treatment modalities, namely surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy. It's also referred to as slash poison and burn, slash for surgery, poison for chemo, and burn for radiation. The choice of which treatment varies according to the type of cancer, stage of the cancer, and sometimes the tumor markers that predict response to specific therapies. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to discuss the types of surgery and types of chemotherapy, and you should be able to discuss the nursing considerations for cancer patients who are undergoing radiation or chemotherapy. Surgery. Surgery involves the removal of diseased tissue. Surgery was the earliest form of cancer therapy, and today 60% of cancer patients will be treated with surgery alone or surgery in combination with other treatment modalities. Surgery as a primary treatment. Surgical removal of solid tumor cancers, if possible, remains the ideal and most frequently used treatment method. When surgery is the primary treatment, the goal is to remove the entire tumor or as much as feasible plus a margin around the tumor. Debulking or cytoreductive surgery. Debulking surgery removes part but not all of the tumor. You might wonder, why not just remove the entire tumor? If the goal is cure, then the approach is to remove all of the tumor. However, depending on the size and location of the tumor, removing the entire tumor may not be feasible. Diagnostic surgery. Another term for diagnostic surgery is biopsy. Diagnostic surgery is performed to obtain a tissue sample for analysis of cells suspected to be malignant. Surgery for staging. In breast cancer, for example, many times the lymph nodes are also removed during surgery because many cancers are spread through the lymphatic system. These lymph nodes would then be dissected to see if they have cancer cells in them. TNM staging is done in some cancers. T stands for tumor, N stands for nodes or lymph nodes, and M stands for metastasis. So they surgically remove the lymph nodes, and so if there's no cancer, the designation becomes N subscript 0. Or just as an example, it may be T1, N0, and M0. Prophylactic surgery. This involves removal of non-vital organs that are at an increased rate of developing cancer. Some examples are prophylactic mastectomy and oophorectomy, and this could mean that genetic testing was done. For example, the presence of breast cancer genes. These are referred to as BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes. And if the individual has these BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes, prophylactic mastectomy is an option. Reconstruction or reconstructive surgery. The goal of reconstructive surgery is to improve function and restore cosmetic appearance. Palliative surgery. When cure is not possible, palliative surgery is performed to increase the patient's quality of life and or to alleviate pain. Nursing considerations for when you have a patient with a radioactive emission. Remember that one of the characteristics of cancer cells is they have lost or diminished apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. Apoptosis or programmed cell death is enhanced by radiation. Radiation therapy is a local or area-focused killing of cancer cells. It uses high-energy particles or X-rays or isotopes to kill the cancer cells and or cells surrounding the margin of the tumor. Not all cancer patients who are undergoing radiation are radioactive, but there are safety precautions used in caring for a patient receiving and emitting radiation, and these include assigning the patient to a private room, posting appropriate notices about radiation safety precautions, having staff members wear dosimeter badges, making sure that pregnant staff members are not assigned to the patient's care, prohibiting visits from children or pregnant visitors, limiting visits from others to at most 30 minutes daily, and seeing that visitors maintain at least 6-foot distance from the radiation source. Chemotherapy. There are 3 types of chemotherapy: neoadjuvant, adjuvant, and primary. Neoadjuvant chemotherapy. This is chemotherapy that is initiated prior to surgery, and it is done typically to shrink large tumors. Adjuvant chemotherapy means chemotherapy is given after surgery to treat residuals and micrometastasis. Primary chemotherapy means chemotherapy is the first treatment given for a disease or is accepted as the best treatment. Systemic. The effects of chemotherapy are systemic. Chemotherapy affects all rapidly growing cells. Fast-growing epithelial cells, such as those of the hair, bone, skin, and GI, are usually most affected by both chemotherapy and radiation. Note also that chemotherapy is given in repeated doses called cycles. Nursing considerations for chemo administration. Chemotherapy is a chemical therapy that uses cytotoxic drugs to treat cancer. So when administering IV chemo, you need to don PPE. IV chemo contains vesicant drugs. Vesicant drugs are given only by IV route into a large vein. Vesicant drugs cause blistering of tissue that eventually leads to necrosis if they infiltrate or leak out of the blood vessel and into soft tissue. This is called extravasation. Thus, IV chemotherapy is typically given via a central line. Central lines are intravenous catheters that terminate in the superior vena cava near the right atrium of the heart. The superior vena cava is a large vessel that allows for dilution of vesicant drugs and reduces the risk of extravasation. Oral chemo. Oral chemo is just as toxic as IV chemo. Therefore, you need to use gloves in the same way as you would with IV chemo. Many chemotherapy drugs cause bone marrow suppression. That is why labs, specifically CBC, are ordered prior to each chemo session. Abnormal labs prior to chemotherapy sessions have the potential to change the treatment plan. For example, delay a chemo cycle. This ends my lecture on cancer treatment modalities. Thank you.